ways. So I did some work on Benjamin Franklin last night after everybody else went to bed. This is the final head right here. I've done a little bit of structure work. I don't know if you can see this, but inside his head, I put the ring around here, the boning ring. And I also put one of, I don't know if you can see it, but down in the lower jaw here, down right here, there is part of one of those foam balls, the EVA foam balls that Stacy Gordon sells on Puppet Pie, in the chin, just to keep that, give it a little structure. And then inside the head, I have one of those cheap styrofoam balls that you can get at Michael's. Now, Barge will eat this stuff like you won't believe, but I just have it in there with a pin because the pin doesn't go all the way through. Anyway, I've already applied Barge to all this stuff because I've got to do some. Let me shut the window. I already applied some Barge to some pieces because outside, because I wanted to not have to deal with the respirator. But this is just some regular fleece. I think it might be the old Muppet fleece, but I dyed a bunch of it orange and don't have any use for it. So anyway, on this side, I used 3M Spray 77, which I hate, but it seems to work really well for fabric and will mate to contact cement. So I put Barge on this. This is just one of those floor mats. I'm going to use it as a head plug, but I put a I heat formed it a little bit so that it'll adhere to the back of the hand. And so I'm just going to put that on there, and this will become the inside the head. We'll keep that styrofoam ball in place and will be glued in place and not have to deal with the Barge. And I'm going to cut off the extra. The next thing I'm going to do is, you can see that ball, that EVA ball in there, which I did apply foam to, or Barge to, and I'm going to line that as well. Just, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to just feed that around the inside lip of that thing, that piece, and I'm just going to put that down inside and smooth it out as best I can. So that the hand is not on bare foam when it's all put together. And I put a little notch in there with a Dremel so that the thumb will go there. And then this piece, once I get this all trimmed, I really try to make these things so that they'll be both look good and be easy to manipulate, or as easy as it can be. So that is going to go in there like so. Actually, it'll probably go like that. And I'll just feed that in there for now and not glue it in place. I basically want to lock that ball in place, that ball in there in place. So now that whole thing's going to be lined now, so that when the hand's in there, without the mouth plate, which the mouth plate's right here, it should keep it in place. We'll see though. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in place before I do anything else. And put on my respirator. I'll do this piece. Now, before I do anything, I'll show you the mouth plate. So that's Ultra Suede on the one side. These are the garage sale, or actually it's, I'm not even sure what it is. It's some sort of polystyrene, 1/8 inch thick plastic that I have. The hinge is on both sides a piece of gaff tape. You don't want to use duct tape because it'll deteriorate, but this fabric-based gaff tape will work. It's got a 3-part mouth plate, so there's actually about a little less than half an inch gap in here, so it makes it so you can kind of roll it. And then I put these dowels on it to hopefully give it some sort of grip when in combination with those 2 pieces of foam I just did. So your fingers will kind of sandwich between that foam and the dowel. And if it doesn't work, I can just rip it out. So anyway, I'm gonna pull out this, and I'm gonna put on my respirator. I'm gonna add glue. Get this thing done. Open the window too. I'd love to just keep that window open, but it's so hard to hear with the planes going over that I end up shutting it when I record. And I don't want to get any glue on that styrofoam ball or it'll eat it up. It'll eat through it. But I had it left over from an old project, and I'm like, it's about the right size. And I might as well get rid of the stuff that's not all that useful. And I'm not being particularly, there's going to be extra glue on there, but it'll dissipate. It won't be a problem. Okay. And then I'm going to put some on the lips too. I did put a bevel in the lips and on the base here. And I'm going to put it on the front face, the sides of these dowels, and along the outside edge of this. So I'll get a nice strong bond. I'll do that. I'll let that dry a little bit. Okay, I think that's actually ready. So it's gonna be in there like so. That's got the curve. And I will get this in the best I can. Make sure it's in the right spot, which I did not. I had to get some weird tuckers.
Okay. I'm going to put that down. Try and line up my... I'm trying to do it about halfway so that it's... You know what? I don't need that one. Okay.
All right, so let me see if I can get this so you can see what's going on in there. So I've still got the dowel on the bottom. I ended up taking it off at the top because there wasn't enough room for it, and I really didn't need it. That let's see if I can pull this pin out now. So that pin will be great because now I can pin the that styrofoam head that's in there, or ball that's in there is going to be great because it'll be a place I can pin the wig to. So still not gluing down real great right here. I may have to reapply the contact cement. I think when I ripped it off, it didn't really bond real well. But you can kind of see. Yeah. Hello. Look at that. Yeah, I'm going to put some more glue on that, and then I think it'll stay. Let's see.
I think it would have bonded better if I had not ripped out that piece. Okay. Let that dry.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Charles. Yeah, he's coming together. I actually ordered, believe it or not, a little kid's Ben Franklin wig and glasses. I guess there are a lot of kids out there that really want to be Ben Franklin for Halloween. And I got the F33 fleece, which I'll be gluing, or I'll be dyeing tonight. And hopefully I'll get that pretty much done. I'm actually going to add the neck now. I think that'll be the next thing I do. So I made a bunch of these neck tubes a while back. This is one of the ones with the ring. It's in it, which I want to use for this. So because these are such a pain to make, but they're so useful, and I use them on every puppet I make. Basically, I just I tried this time to make 10 of them, so that I would just have them on hand. And I can just pin this in place. I match up the seams with the center seam on the head. And arm rods. Yeah, arm rods are a mess too. I have a few of those left over, although I think I'm going to have to end up making some new ones. I need to ask them if they need removable arm rods or not. I may just put regular ones on, because who wants to deal with removable arm rods? Everybody thinks they need them, but I don't. It's been my experience, most people don't need them. Thank you. Yeah, the shape of the head, I mean, I did show how I do it, who do all those weird patterns, and it always works for me. I think a lot of people are real resistant to, well, maybe not resistant, but afraid to start take on a head shape that's weird, or make a pattern from scratch. But honestly, I think there's a lot of, once you figure it out, it's kind of easy to do. Okay, so it's pinned in place now. This will be his neck. And he actually kind of mounts in there a little weird. It kind of looks like Waldorf. Let's see if you can see that. So his head, he's very hunched over because he's older. That's the idea anyway. So his body is actually going to be, down this way. I may actually have a body that'll fit him. So this is one of the reject Strangebrook bodies. Let's see how it works. Might be a little small. Yeah, I think it's a little small, but you can kind of see the idea of how it'll work. Okay, I guess I will put on this head, or this neck sleeve, so you guys can see how that works. So basically it's pinned in place, but because I'm using jersey mesh, you can actually just brush the barge right onto it and then sew around it. And by the time you're done sewing, that barge will be dry and stuck in place. So you have 2 ways of keeping it attached, which is kind of cool. I would like to use a little stretchier jersey mesh next time, though. Okay. Okay. So you just, because I'm using the Scott or the reticulated, what was it called? Dry fast foam, you can actually sew into it pretty easily. So you just run a whip stitch all the way around. Okay, so then I'm just gonna make sure you take these pins out before you seal them up. Really like the double chin. Looked great last night when you marked out the design. Yeah, so this is the prototype I made last night, and you can see how it's smooth. It's because I put the bevel on the wrong side. I ended up not putting a bevel on this one at all, and I just I butted it up so that the ends basically, instead of being edge to edge, it's the head shape is flat, and then the chin butts at a 90-degree angle right onto that, and it gives it that really nice double chin, which was what I was trying to do with the bevel, but I don't think the bevel was as necessary as I thought it was at the time. I kind of like now it's I'll see a shape, and like, especially ones that's been sculpted, and I'm like, I wonder if I can flat pattern that shape, which has led to me making Piggy and Strange Pork, and now Benjamin Franklin, because it's like, oh, I wonder what the flat form for that looks like. Plus, in 15 years, when somebody wants a Ben Franklin, I'll have the pattern already. Although I have to say, I kept saying this in the build video, in the patterning video. It reminds me of Jay Sherman from The Critic, and I could see building a John Lovitz type Jay Sherman puppet at some point from the same pattern. There was this prop guy that I talked to when I was building the crow, or finding the crow parts, and building the crow puppet from Mystery Science Theater years ago. His name was Ed Miriecki, and I talked to him on the phone one time about prop building and whatnot, and because he was the one who molded the soap dish after I found it, and I sent him one and he molded it, and then that ended up on just about everybody's crow T robot that they built. And I talked to him a little bit, and his philosophy was you always want a adhesive join and a physical join. So if you're using a glue to put something on, you also want to put a bolt so that if one fails, the other can take it or keep the other one from doing it. So that's kind of why I both glue this and sew it, so that if the thread breaks, the glue will keep it in place, and if the glue gives way, the thread will keep it in place. That's kind of the idea. Swazzle the exact same with their neck sleeves. Yeah, and I believe they got that from BJ Geyer, because that's kind of where I learned it too. BJ and Carol Binion. It was something they did on Crank. But I don't like about Swazzle, I think they sell them for like $20. It's super. There's these neck sleeves are so easy to make. In fact, I have a pattern on my website. I'm going to buy it. One low price of $5. I love how in the same breath that I said something about Swazzle charging money, I decided I was going to try and charge people money as well. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to use up the rest of this gray thread. There's just barely any left. I think the last two puppets I built, I basically used all but maybe a yard and a half of thread. Well, Tilly's got to eat, so that's the big reason I'm so shameless. How did that happen? I went to all that trouble, and then the needle just came off. Let's try that again. So, are you still building your? Was it Bluey? Is that the Bluey's dad? I can't remember what you're building right now, Charles. I know most people tune in just to see how long it takes me to thread a needle. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love your builds. I love any build that is kind of going outside the Muppet norm. You make me want to make a duck. Fortunately, I have no outstanding projects that I need to do that I can't just go and build a duck. Oh boy. That was in there. Guess the glue's dry. Bluey's not Bluey. Yeah. Hey, at least I knew what Bluey was. I could have just easily said Blue's Clues. I don't know. It depends on really the character. I probably would do. It's hard to tell. It's it's kind of like I talked a little bit about this at the beginning of this little series. Is until I know what the puppet needs to do, it kind of informs the way I build it. My mechs always are problematic at best. Although, if it was like C-3PO, I think I probably could do a mech version of a duck. I'm not sure what duck I would build. I'm kind of thinking down the line I'm going to build a Jar Jar Binks puppet. That might be as close to a duck as I get. Not at all. Okay. Oh, come on. Almost got it. Tell you what, there's so much glue and fabric right here, I can't get the needle through. Come on. It's like it's fiberglass in place. All right, that's good enough. Okay, so now there he is. He's got that nice roll that I can do. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll. It's so tight in there. There you go. Okay. I'm just like trying to see what this looks like with ears. Count Dracula would be fun. I like that idea. Let's see if I can find. Well, I can't find the nose that I had before, but I'll make a new one. So what I did was I put in a there's a little there's a piece of EVA foam that's lined that makes a little pocket on the other side of the mouth plate, and then there's a grip part on the thumb. So it's just kind of a little pocket, but it should be fine. The straps end up wearing out or breaking so much that most of the time what I'll do is I'll make a little pocket thing like this line that goes in. Sorry, I'm not even going to the camera. It kind of goes in like that inside there, and that's kind of how I do it, and then have a plate on top of that. But I had all these plans. Like I made this half round dowel that was in there, but there just wasn't enough room for the hand, so I ripped it out as I was installing it. So there's Ben Franklin, sort of. But he works. Once the fabric's on there, it'll kind of close up his mouth a little bit, because I want to put more of a jowl on there. But what I'll do is I'll make the fabric kind of loose at the corners of his mouth, so it kind of fills in that area. And then the wig will kind of come down like so. But I guess the head's basically done. And I don't know if I did that drawing before. Let's see if I can do it this way. I did that drawing before showing how I put the ears on, and they're kind of slanted backwards. But from the front, it looks right to me, even though one's higher than the other right now. But I do that so that from the side it looks normal. From the front it looks normal. And then, So there's that. I guess I could start working on the body, but I kind of want to do that outside because I'm tired of wearing the respirator. Do I have a wig to put on? No, I don't. It's on the way. It'll be here on Friday, I think. I could. Do I have a wig? I'm tempted to take Miss Piggy's wig off. But no, I don't have a wig right now. I bought maybe you weren't on yet when I said this, but I found online a kid-size wig for Benjamin Franklin and kid-size glasses for Benjamin Franklin. So I bought both. I guess for all those kids out there that really want to be Benjamin Franklin for Halloween. I knew about this costume a while back, and I thought it was the funniest thing because I saw it at Spirit Halloween one time years ago. And I thought, oh, some kid's probably like, Mom, I want to be Hamilton for Halloween. And then she's like, goes there and can't remember which founding father their kid wanted to be for Halloween. So she grabbed the Benjamin Franklin costume instead. I imagine that's how it worked out. I can't imagine there's a whole big amount of kids that want to be Ben Franklin, but you never know. Okay. So yeah, the next step is to figure out the body. Oh, let me show you one other thing. So you can see how much better this dry fast foam handles the seams. I mean, it also helps that there's some structure in there, but you can already see though that it's so pointy and bad, and you know these seams are just, they lie flat, so flat that you know that the fleece is just going to lay on there pretty well. Also, I used kind of a pinkish pen so that if it does bleed through on the fleece, then it won't be quite as noticeable if I, black or purple or something. So let me go back to this. So I'm thinking the way I'm going to do this body. Because he's, kind of a portly fellow. I think it's going to be something along these lines. Basically, I think the pattern is going to be probably 5 of these. I mean, this is just a guess. Who knows when I actually get it done? But I think it's going to be something like that. And then when it's all put together and tucked in, I think it'll give me a shape similar to what I'm going for. It'll probably be more rounded, but I do think that it's going to be kind of shallow on the bottom, because what I'd like to do is I like to have a body kind of like that. You can see that. And arms coming off here. So I guess we'll see. I tried putting the maker on the inside of the skull. That way there's no bleed through. Oh, the marker. Yeah, I've tried that too. I don't know why I don't. I think it's because it's easier for me to line up the registration marks as I do it. But I also think that if you turn it wrong side out, it's not quite the same shape. So I'm kind of building to the shape. I don't know. Maybe I'm just superstitious. Set in my ways, maybe that's what I'm looking for. I may have to open this up and take that ball out of there. I can hear it. But I think it'll stay in. Once I sew the wig in, I think it'll be fine. So anyway, I'm gonna go right now. So I will be on later after I've done some work on the body. And the arms are just gonna be the same as we're on really, I'll probably just use one of the melon pull patterns or something just to make the arms. But for the most part, until I get the wig, well, I'll pattern the head. I'll pattern the head before I have the wig, but that'll probably be the next video. All right, I'll see you guys next time.